Ladies, gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Please be advised that this movie has no nudity.
I'm out.
Come on, Eddie. Let's go to the movies.
Yeah. I just have to wee-wee.
And we're back.
Just like the Five Musketeers.
What the hell am I looking at?
A country where culture means pornography and slasher films.
If you had these boobs, you'd be obsessed with them too.
Very exciting, big event. Everybody's excited, huh?
Last time I went to the pictures, I was looking at all the jiglins. And...
We hope you'll make this a weekly visit. Bring the family. Bring your friends.
Hello.
Hello, Jerry.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
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 Huh?
Ray.
Egon.
Awkward silence. Speaking of part twos, hey. So.
Hey, we are this.
We are
Cinemadness podcast. Cinemadness, the podcast. The Cinemadness podcast.
It's either or right now.
It changes all the time. But
yeah. I call it the Cinemadness podcast. Roman calls it Cinemadness the podcast. You could call it Cinemadness podcast the.
Oh, I like it.
Ooh.
Hello.
Yeah. Brandy's going to suck to high hell. Our logo is the podcast.
Anyways, we are back. And we are continuing our discussion on Kill Bill. This time we are dedicating this episode to Volume Dos.
Also known as the.
Which is 2.
Yeah.
What? The what?
Yeah, the only one that matters.
Okay, well, that's not right. What if some of our listeners like Volume 1?
So, can I tell the story of how I watched Volume 2?
Well, in a second, because we need to introduce ourselves. I'm Alison.
What? I'm Adam. And I'm Annette. Wait. Hold on. Roman! I'm Roman.
I love Annette.
Yes.
That went off way better than I am job.
Well, yeah, I would say give you a hand, but that just sets up an awkward conversation. Anyways.
Okay, quick, Roman. What is your story that you wanted to tell?
Quick Roman's story never goes together.
I know.
All right, so for those of you...
Buckle up, ladies and gentlemen.
So for those of you who may not know, I stumbled onto Kill Bill 2 because I had a really heavy night of drinking the night before. I showed up to work, hypothetically, still inebriated or drunk on tequila. I could still taste it. My boss said, hey, you need to sober up by your next shift or you're fired. Well, where my restaurant was that I worked at, we had on the bottom floor was my restaurant. On the top floor, it was a movie theater. So I did what any good Samaritan...
Oh, this was your Centro Ebor days.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I did what any good Samaritan would do, is go to the service elevator that went both to the restaurant and to the theater. Remember, I was inebriated. I would never do this sober. I went to the second floor, hypothetically, because that would be illegal and that would be stealing. So I went to the second floor and...
Just get to the second floor already.
I'm on the second floor. I had 2 theaters in front of me. It was Mary-Kate and Ashley Go to New York, or it was Kill Bill 2. I chose Kill Bill 2 because I was looking someplace that I didn't give a shit and take a nap. So I go in there.
So you didn't choose Mary-Kate and Ashley?
No.
You were saving that for movie night.
Oh, man.
He wanted to be awake for that, Jim.
Oh, I was...
You were one of those people who were counting down to the 18, weren't you?
Ew.
No. When you guys bring it up like that, I'm like, wow, shit. Wow. Anyways.
Wow.
So I'm sitting there in the theater, still tasting the conquest from the night before. Yeah. The conquest from the night before I eat tequila, you sick monster. And I'm just in awe of what I'm seeing. I actually sober up because I'm like, okay, this is actually interesting. Oh, wow. As soon as the movie was over, I feel great. I take the elevator back down. I show up to work, and I still have a job. There you go.
You're like, thanks, Quentin Tarantino.
Exactly. It's a Mentos commercial. Actually, I was about to...
you saved my job.
I was about to paraphrase Wayne's World 2. It's like, and he brought the brown M&Ms, and the rest, as they say, is history.
It's another story altogether.
You don't hear a lot of people quoting Wayne's World 2.
Wayne's World 2 has some good lines in it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's some bad licorice going around, man.
Oh, wow.
Anyways, yeah.
Welcome to Aurora, where it's not just a city, It's a state of mind. Eat me!
Anyways, all right.
Coming up on the Cinemadness podcast, Wayne's World 2.
So that was my
That's your story and how you were introduced to Volume 2.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
So
let's introduce. Well, first of all, this came out in 2004.
Yes.
Like 6 months after, right? 2003.
Yeah.
Volume 1.
Yeah. I think so.
Something like that. We didn't have to wait that long. Let's talk about the taglines.
But the tagline for part 1 was false.
What do you mean?
In 2003, she did not kill Bill.
Oh, she didn't.
No, she didn't.
No. They lied. So we have revenge is a dish best served cold, which is also the quotation in the beginning.
Yep.
Okay.
It's from
Confucius, right?
No, Star Trek 2.
Oh.
It's a Klingon proverb.
Oh.
Khan.
We have the bride is back for the final cut.
Oh, see, I like that. That's a dad joke. I like it.
Yeah, I just think of the bride is back for the final cut. Hey, lie,
the bride is back.
Kill Bill Volume 2.
Anyways.
This spring, it's not over till it's over.
Oh, great. Now we're paraphrasing Lenny Kravitz.
Yeah.
It ain't over till it's over.
Kill is love.
Okay. All right. Okay.
On April 16th, the quest for revenge continues.
Hmm.
Because we didn't finish it in October of 2003.
That's right.
Back with a vengeance.
Okay.
Here comes the bride.
Oh, that's good.
Uh-huh.
Didn't we do that the first one?
Here comes the bride? I don't think so.
Okay.
She will kill Bill because she didn't the first time.
Oh, yeah.
This time, she'll get the job done.
No, seriously, guys, we promise. Kill Bill now.
That just sounds like the
All
third
my
one.
heart.
Yeah.
Stay with me. Come on, stay with me. Kill Bill now. Oh. Yeah, actually, it kind of works.
The whole thrilling...
Slay with me.
Anyways, the whole
thrilling tale is revealed.
Okay.
And the best one, the fifth film by Quentin Tarantino.
Those were a lot better than the previous taglines.
They were.
All right, so which brings us to rejected tagline. Rejected
tagline.
And for those of you who are new to the podcast, we're going to go around the table and figure out what taglines did not make the cut. Anybody going first?
The tagline would be Kill Bill Volume 2. This time, it's still personal.
Okay. Again, a little bit long-winded on Fiona Apple. Forgive the pun.
Always Fiona Apple with you.
You know what? I have a thing for her. Stop it. Stop judging.
That's fine.
All right. Alison, you got anything?
Not yet. Come back to me.
That's a good one.
Looks like the bride didn't have cold feet. She has revenge.
This time, it's murder.
I was waiting for that one.
As every tagline.
Yeah, okay.
Someone has taken Volume 2's too far.
You've seen 88. Let's go for number 2. All right, Alison, you got anything? Is this inspiring anything?
Kill Bill Volume 2. This time she kills more.
Ooh. List we say more.
Ooh.
Oh, that's a good one. List we say more.
That shouldn't even been rejected.
Oh, that wins.
Miramax.
I mean,
I bet it's really easy to get in touch with Harvey Weinstein right now.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
I was just thinking, who does number 2 work for? Bill.
This time the bills due.
Yeah.
Those
are good.
Yeah, geez, I think I'm bringing the pew 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 pew.
Okay, so this movie stars still Uma Thurman, still Daryl Hannah.
It's just like it stars someone else this time.
Now it stars David Carradine's in it more, and Mr. Michael Madsen, and then Sonny Chiba's back, but as a different character. Ooh.
And so is Michael Parks. He comes back as a different character.
He does. Lots of different character people going on.
Kill Bill.
When I took Bill to the movie theater,
I
the
took
blonde,
Bill.
he loves
gross.
the blondes.
God, that scene just disturbs me.
It's so beautiful though. It's so effed up.
Yeah. So before we start getting into the scenes, the opening of this movie, first of all, I like the music. It's heavy drums, almost like jungle drums.
Yeah.
after that comes after she talks, but then it scrolls up, Kill Bill, but it's this heavy like it's really, and it's like it almost sets the tone. Like, man, she's pissed. Like, she's not messing around. Like, she was pissed in the first movie, but she's just ready to just go crazy.
Yeah. She got all the information she needed.
Yeah,
she's ready now.
But that opening scene when it's black and white and she's driving in a convertible and she's talking to you.
That terrible monologue.
And it's just bad. And it's just, I don't know, just the way she talks. She's like, oh, I ravaged and I pillaged and I killed, but there's still more to be done, and I'm going to kill Bill. And it's like, God, you're so cheesy.
You know what that reminded me of? It reminded me of Mia Wallace playing the bride in Kill Bill.
It's just like that.
Yeah.
My husband told you to take me out and show me a good time. It's exactly like that.
It was like her doing her Fox Force 5.
Yes.
Yeah.
See, but to me at the time, I didn't have a high opinion on Uma Thurman, and I really knew her from Poison Ivy, and I couldn't stand her as Poison Ivy. It's as I told Lady Freeze before I pulled the plug, this is a one-woman show. So that's, you gotta remember, so I did not see the first one, so when I saw that monologue, I'm like, okay.
Yeah. You're like,
this is still the best she can do.
Yeah. All right, let's just, you watch a horror movie to hope that the annoying person dies.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, all right, she's gonna get it. Yeah, and then...
Is her name Bill?
No. Is it? But you know what?
They keep bleeping it out.
She was so moving, especially when we eventually get to the end scene where she has tears in her eyes and say, but not BB.
Mm-hmm.
That was just so emotional.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. She acts very well in this movie. I'm talking about this opening scene just drives me nuts.
But you got to remember, it's to me, it's a love letter to 70s cinema, and that's right on 70s cinema right there. I mean,
it was, I agree with you, but it was too clear.
Fair counterpoint.
It was shot in color and turned black and white, and that didn't seem like a Tarantino move to me. It seemed like a Miramax move.
It could have been. It could have been some guy in a suit going, hold on, Quentin, we just need a... Can I see that final cut real quick?
Yeah. Oh, we need an intro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then loud drum music.
Yeah.
Yeah, the kids like it.
The music... I don't even remember the music. It was so unremarkable to me. Mm-hmm. I don't remember any of the music in the movie. And I loved the first one.
Yeah,
so
I mean, it wasn't as memorable as the first, but there's a lot. The opening music and the ending music, with the end scene, which I don't want to get into yet. Mm-hmm. That was very fitting music, and it was kind of Spanish and yeah.
It had that Western South American flair to it.
It had that 3/4 beat, that din din.
Yeah. But I get what you're saying. It wasn't as catching as the first movie.
Right.
No. So
it didn't feel like a mixtape he made for us.
No. Okay, so let's get into the scenes. Yes. Okay,
yes.
So we're in chapter 6. Chapter 6 is the massacre at Two Pines, not to be confused with Twin Pines.
Twin Pines.
So we're going back. They take us back 4 years ago, to the day at the Two Pines, where the killings occurred on her wedding rehearsal day. Mm-hmm. So it shows Beatrix and Tommy along with a group of family friends. They decide on the details of the wedding. Beatrix is, obviously 9 months pregnant. She takes a break, finds Bill on the balcony of the chapel. So this is our first look at Bill.
Yeah, right.
Mr. David Carradine. And they share good dialogue. They share some tender moments. It almost makes you feel like he's letting her go. And like he wishes her well. He thinks that Tommy is a good guy and all that stuff. Eventually they go back inside where Bill, she introduces him as her father, which that was a little weird, but
oh man.
I mean, he's an old sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, he's an old man.
Sorry.
Tommy goes away. Tommy walks away somewhere, and then the two kiss. Bill takes a seat at the bride's side. I don't know. That was funny to me.
The only seat.
Yeah, the only seat. Moments after the Deadly Viper assassination squad enter the building, and they kill everybody.
Yeah.
Okay. So I wanted to talk real quick about Tommy.
Okay.
When I watched it, I thought he looked familiar, so I looked him up. the guy playing Tommy is not an actor. He is a effects makeup artist, and he's a very successful effect makeup artist. His name is Christopher Allen Nelson. He did the new Halloween movies. He's also done pretty much everything in the MCU makeup wise. He's also unfortunately for us, but fortunately for Roman, the man who gave Jared Leto his Joker look in Suicide Squad.
So why was he hired for this?
Maybe
Because he was
Tarantino
good-looking.
liked him.
He's good looking. He's easy.
I
on the
wonder if
eyes.
he did any of the makeup.
He might have.
Is it like a Predator thing where you have the guy in the beret who's also a screenwriter in case there's some shit that goes down? It's like, here you go.
Also, the preacher was played by the actor Bo Svensson.
Yes.
Who he was in the original Inglourious Bastards from the 1970s, but he's also in two of my favorite Riff Tracks movies. And he did a lot of character acting in bad 80s sci-fi horror movies, and I think that's why he was cast more than him being in Inglourious Bastards, because he's a cult actor.
He had like a really strong accent too in this movie.
Yeah, and he usually plays like Texas people.
Yeah, well.
And one of the things that I alluded to in the previous episode is one thing that I love about 2 is how strong of a story it is. Now, can you think about it as a person, Alison and Adam, if you showed up and your loved one, you haven't seen them, and your loved one has the audacity, not only you find out that they're alive, but they're getting married, and then they're like, yeah, this is my dad, or yeah, this is my mom, and now the guys that says, now you're going to give her away. What?
Yeah. And that little monologue the dialogue that Bill and the bride had was fantastic, because you find out, like you said, Bill is kind to a point.
Yeah.
And you kind of feel for him when he tells her, I had people looking for you. And then you just disappeared, and then I find you like this.
Right.
And it's not that you feel for him, but at the same time, you're just like, she may have done something wrong. But she didn't do anything wrong. She knew who Bill really was.
Right.
Yeah, she escaped.
Yeah.
Right.
He's the ultimate gaslighter.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And he's so passive aggressive. It's like, okay, this is how he gets even. He's so passive aggressive. This is how he gets. Once you see the end, and then you go back and watch it 15 times, like I did, you see like the wheels turning in his head, where it's like, oh yeah, I'm going to get mine. I'm just going to let this guy basically hang himself, because he in his head already saw everyone dead.
Yeah.
He already knew where it was going. So just almost like a snake that knew the rat was going to eventually be his meal, you let it run around until it gets tired. And that's how I always saw that scene. And that's what I thought was beautiful about the character and how it was elevated. And that's why I think that if you did not have Kill Bill 1, this would still be a very strong film in terms of character study.
I disagree, but that's me.
Yeah, and that's fine. We can agree to disagree, and that's respectful. But
well,
yeah.
I think I agree with the characters in this movie, but you're not going into. You have to have both to understand all of the characters in the Assassination Squad.
I see your point, but it spells it out in many ways to the point where I'm seeing it drunk, and I'm still following the film very well.
No, Volume 2 doesn't talk about Vivica A. Fox's character or it doesn't talk about Vernita or Oren Ishii at all.
No, but you see the people outlined at the end, and also you see all the people at the back of their heads as they're about to do the coup de grace.
Yeah, but I want to know who those people are, and without both these movies, I don't get a backstory of every one of them like I feel we deserve.
Well, I think Michael Madsen at one point he starts talking about how she's off in one by one. And
he does do a quick recap because Bill had told him what happened.
Yeah, but I know, but I just need more like they gave us, and well, except for Vernita, we don't get shit on Vernita.
No,
so I don't know, but
that was just a stunt.
Yeah, that was just Okay, so everybody's dead. Bam,
boom,
bam,
bomb.
Or are they?
And we get to see Sam Jackson act finally.
Yes, and speak.
Yes.
And he has an amazing resume. Who did you piss off to get to be a piano player in this small little
I guarantee you he did that role for free. He was probably just like, let me be in this movie.
Yeah.
I mean, like you. Yeah. You like me?
I don't have to have a braided goatee. I'm
God.
good.
He was the ugliest he's ever been as Jackie Brown.
Yeah.
With that ugly...
I like how you said he was the ugliest he's ever been as Jackie Brown.
In Jackie Brown. I meant in Jackie Brown, because he's not attractive, but he was gross. Okay, so now we have Chapter 7, The Lonely Grave of Paula Schultz. So good.
This was hard for me to watch.
Really?
Yeah. Buried alive things really drive me nuts.
This is so good. Okay, so Beatrix, after attempting an attack on Bud one night at his trailer, following soon after Bill's forewarning, is shot full of rock salt in the chest. And
in the tits.
Yes, and he's sedated in the buttocks with a needle by Bud. But then he ties her up, and he's got this friend, I think his name was like Ernie.
Yeah.
And they that guy was funny. And they take her out to a local cemetery, and they bury her in the empty grave of one Paula Schultz.
I like that Ernie was just like, all right.
Yeah. Like, I'll
I'm going to
do
get
whatever.
a beer.
Yeah. They buried her. And this was another scene where Bud showed empathy, but was it true empathy? Like, he's like, well, it's almost like no one deserves to be buried without a flashlight, so I'll go ahead and give you a flashlight.
Well, he gave her the choice to be good.
Right. But even that, he didn't have to. Yeah. So it's like every one of these people, to an extent, almost have this respect towards her that I want to kill you, and I hate you, and I hope you die, but you were still at one point my equal, and I know you're a badass, so I kind of respect you in that manner. I don't know, it's just weird. Like Bud,
like a mafia thing. Like,
you're
still family.
It's a walking courtesy, I suppose, because even when we go to the scene where she reveals pregnancy, and even that assassin has a working courtesy. In like a mafia thing. Now, getting back to Bud's scene, I liked how, and this is where the brother comes out, he goes, yep, no one buffaloed Bill like you buffaloed Bill. You know, you broke his heart.
Right.
So in some ways he was being a good brother and a good sibling, looking out for the well-being of his brother, even though I think in the core he realizes that his brother's a snake.
Not only that, but he hates Bill. Yeah. Look how Bud is living.
Yeah.
Well,
that scene was good too. The strip club scene.
Yeah.
Because you really get to know this character.
Right.
And
look what he's become.
Yeah.
Because in the first one where you see him in his everybody's in their suit, and he was skinnier, and you're like, man, that's a badass right there. That's Bud. Like that's Michael Madsen. He's always had this like kind of like
swagger.
Yeah. And then you see him now, and it's like,
he's
ew.
A bouncer in a titty bar where a guy is saying, "You see this?" As he shows his elbow, it's like, I need you, like I need a also right here, pointing to his elbow.
They treat him like crap there.
Yeah.
Even the strippers.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then he comes home to this horrible trailer. Yeah, I mean, you kind of feel for Bud because he knows that Bill has money and Bill can give him money, and that's why he wants to sell the sword.
Yeah.
To get money.
I'm laughing because Daryl Hannah gets a swirly in Bud's toilet.
I did like a little bit of the deepness they did with Bud, where he lies to everyone, saying that he sold his sword. One thing I want to know how he survived if he didn't pawn the sword off, because apparently he needed to. But it showed that he still had loyalty, even though he like Bill. I mean, they're brothers. He, like Bill, has his own agenda. He's not as smart as Bill. He's not as successful as Bill. But at the same time, he hates his life, but he loves living the life that he hates.
Right.
And like I've said many times, especially during our Tarantino episode, when I saw this movie, I hated it. I wanted it to be another Kill Bill Volume 1. Watching it the second time, back to back, mainly, usually, I was like, there's some really good character development in this movie. There's some good lore.
Oh yeah.
And Bud is a fantastic example of that. It didn't even have that. Once again, it didn't have the Tarantino style dialogue. It wasn't dialogue heavy. I mean, there was dialogue, but it wasn't the Tarantino, Madonna speech. In his
you get that near the end with the Superman.
You get a couple of them. Yeah, you get the Superman thing, and the fire fire talk. But Bud stuff is so visually narrative that you don't need the Tarantino dialogue, and it's probably my favorite part of the movie because of it being told so well without having to be told really well. So that's my 2 cents on Bud.
I love when Bud's sitting in the chair with the gun, and he's got the music playing, and she looks down, and all you see is his feet just rocking back and forth. And it's just like I don't know, I don't want to say it's like really tension filled, but like you immediately go to a place where she's at, where it's like, ooh, what is she going to do? Like, he's standing right there. She knows he's sitting right there. Is she going to like open it up? Is he going to open up? He knows she's out there.
Yeah.
It was just almost like, there's like a lot of tension built up in that scene. I don't know. It was cool. I liked it.
Although I did not understand why she had the ninja mask on and then took it off.
Yeah.
Like right away.
Yeah.
Well, before we get to that scene, one thing I like when it shows the bride, because we revealed her name at this point, right?
It doesn't matter. Just say what
okay,
say
thank
it.
you.
I'll bleep when I want to bleep.
Oh, so when she gets out of the grave, and she crawls out, and there's that awesome shot of her hand coming out, and then she walks to the diner with this dust cloud behind her, like Pigpen.
Yeah.
And
I love that scene.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and she sits at the diner, and she's spitting out the dirt, and then she composes herself very, very classy. Goes, may I have a glass of water, please? And it's like, wow, you have a hell of a day. Like I love the subtleties of that scene where it's like, wow, and how the diner's just like, you've been through some shit.
Yeah, like she's just so nonchalant about what she just did.
Yeah.
Now, did they do the Pai Mei thing before that? Because you don't see her get out until she's learned the punch.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, then I'm a little bit ahead of you.
No, I'm just confused.
No, you're a little bit ahead.
Yeah, apologize.
I'll go into it. So she was buried with a flashlight in the coffin, which ends the second chapter sequence. And then it begins with Bud going to work at the strip joint, and then we go into chapter 8, which is the cruel tutelage of Pai Mei. So you see her in the grave with the flashlight in her mouth, and it ends it, because otherwise you wouldn't understand what she's doing with her hand. That scene was just, oh man, it just. The buried alive scares me. It's not something that I dwell on because I don't think that'll ever happen. But yeah, it's one of those scenes where it's just like, holy crap, what are you going to do? And then I remember that lovely movie
with Ryan Reynolds,
where the whole movie was just him buried alive.
Buried alive.
Number one, that movie reminds me of the music video with Radiohead, where it's
you lost us
me.
both.
Anyways,
you know that one whiny song that
it sounds
Radiohead
like every
had?
Radiohead song.
You know what? Stop it. Where's Keith to back me up? I miss him.
Oh, poor Keith.
But no, to bring it back, also Buried Alive. You're talking about the movie Vanishing. Vanishing. Yeah.
The one with Mr. Ryan Reynolds?
No.
Oh, it's just called Buried.
No. It was in '92. I believe it was Sandra Bullock. Yeah, it was Sandra Bullock.
She was buried alive?
Yeah, she was abducted by the French guy who was in My Father the Hero.
Gerard Depardieu.
Yeah, where he played the bad guy. It's actually
from Green Card.
Yeah. I just like to think Gerard Depardieu is the real life version of the chef from Ratatouille that owned the restaurants, because they look exactly the same.
Oh, but yeah, no.
I don't know that movie.
So no, it's a very good movie, but it's very sad. Spoiler alert: 3, 2, 1. She dies. She dies of being buried alive, and the husband is searching for her the whole time. And Gerard Depardieu.
Glad you did a spoiler warning for an almost 30-year-old movie.
You know what? Yeah, it goes back to the David Jolly thing when we had him on. He's like, it's been out for like 20 years. Stop it. I'm like,
or Dan.
Dan too. Sorry,
we don't have politicians on this show.
No,
David Jolly.
Anyways, that's the first snort of the day.
Let's take a little break. We'll be right back.
If you're looking for a hot podcast, I've got the one for you. The hottest podcast of the year is The Real Housewives of Reality, starring Scarlett and Alison. This podcast has everything. It's girl meets girl, 2 Bravo-obsessed hosts, a producer named Leon, who knows what love is and is very often screamed at and or abused on the air, allegedly. Weekly recaps of all your favorite housewives, hot gossip, an unadulterated and inexplicable love of Iowa, deals on Mary Kay and BetterHealth.com, relationship advice if you want to stay single forever, and who doesn't. Plus, there's bonus material like the Bravo Booster Pack, which highlights the most iconic Bravo episodes through all the years, and housekeeping with the hottest gossip for you to listen to while you keep your own house. If you do, hey, tune in. There's so much more. I said what I said.
Okay, so now we're at Chapter 8, Paime. We get introduced to Sonny Chiba's new character, Mr. Paime.
Mr. Paime.
Badass Paime that looks kind of like Raiden.
Hey, Mr. Paime.
Oh, he looks like Shang Tsung.
Yes. He looks like a Mortal Kombat character.
He does.
He looks like he belongs in ZZ Top.
He looks like he belongs in old kung fu movies. He does.
Yeah.
So while she's buried in the coffin, Beatrix recounts her first time being told about the Great White Lotus Ninja Paime by Bill. So then it shows the scene where they're in the desert. And it's just her and Bill around a campfire, and Bill's got a didgeridoo?
It's a bamboo flute.
Damn it! I want it to be a didgeridoo. Yeah, you're right. It's a flute. It doesn't make that obnoxious noise. He's like... Not to be
big-ass flute.
Not to be confused with the Willy Wonka. But
I just got this image of Ron Burgundy. It's like jazz flute.
But even this scene is so great because Bill just has a way of telling a story. And when he tells the story, he swings the flute around. I love this scene so much. And he tells about Paime and more importantly about the 5-finger death punch. And what's so funny?
What's the 5-finger? What is it? No, it was the 5-finger palm heart explosion. 5-finger death punch is a band.
I know, but I couldn't remember exactly. 5-finger exploding
palm.
Isn't there a heart in there somewhere?
5-finger death punch. Let's just
Can we just call it that?
Okay. It just made me laugh.
And it's just so at the time when I'm watching this, I didn't put 2 to 2 together that this would eventually come out later in the movie. But I should have, because you can see how upset he is that
she learned it.
Eventually. But that's the one thing that you have to be at the top of Paime's class for you to learn it. And,
he says he shares it with no one.
And it's just, you can see that is just something that he wanted to learn.
Oh, yeah, and that's what's so touching, to skip all the way to that point where it's like, why didn't you tell me? And she goes, I don't know.
Yeah.
And that's literally, I'm getting goosebumps right now just talking about it because it was so very touching. But it goes to a deeper angle and a deeper cavern, if you will, of psychological, mindfuck.
Oh, absolutely. But you don't understand that unless you've seen the movie full once. But then when you go back and watch it again, this scene takes on a whole nother persona because he's telling her the story, not knowing that she's going to learn it. She's going to be a better pupil than you ever were.
Yeah, he's telling it like it's this forbidden thing you'll never even see.
Exactly. Ha-ha.
Because he's so self-consumed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
When you meet the guy who raised him, you understand.
And it was just such a good... I don't know. It was just a really good scene. And then, so she goes and trains with Paime, right?
The stairs.
Oh my God. He's so cruel to her. I mean, talk about hard love, right? Going up and down those stairs with the water.
Yeah. And I love how Bill introduced him verbally. It's like, well, good luck, because he hates Westerners. He hates women. And well, have fun.
Yeah. He wanted to basically set her up for failure. He
Yeah.
loves
He
her
wanted to
to an
break her.
extent, but
Yeah.
he wants to break her, and he
Yeah.
thought that she wasn't going to learn anything from him.
Like it's implied that all of the divas have gone to Pai Mei.
Correct. But you can see that not all of them have learned half of what she did.
Yeah.
So he basically teaches her to be an incredibly strong fighter. He breaks her. He teaches her how to punch a hole through solid wood, how to eat with chopsticks.
With a broken hand.
With a broken hand.
Yeah, with a broken hand, all kinds of stuff. But there was a couple of scenes where he would just kind of like look and he would take his beard and just flop it like.
He would
like-
always do the beard.
Yeah, always, and I don't watch kung fu movies, but was that like a big thing with
It
a lot
is.
of people?
It is.
Okay.
That's- he is the personification of the master, quote unquote.
Do you think kung fu people that love kung fu thought that was almost making fun of, or
No, celebratory.
Yeah,
it was
very much
celebratory?
an homage.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. It wasn't
Especially-
like oh, you're making fun of us.
Especially with the with the jumping on the sword and all
Mm-hmm.
the wire work and stuff. I mean, that's what you see in these kung fu movies.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah,
They would make that noise though a lot of times when he would move his
Yeah.
head and move
Yep.
this like
Yep.
a whoosh.
yeah.
Well, you see homages to that even in like Dragon Ball Z. You see that from time to time in anime, where you have the stereotypical old wizard or the
Right.
guru, and ooh,
Yeah.
yeah, and you just see the chin rub or the mustache twirl or things
Yeah, and
like
if anybody's going to do it with class, it would be Tarantino. But I was
Right.
just wondering if
Yeah.
he went a little overboard.
Well, I mean, he did go overboard, but in a good way. And the 3-inch punch.
Yeah.
That's very much an homage to Bruce Lee and his 1-inch punch.
Oh, okay.
And it's no more overboard than having a spatter of blood that's an homage to the Italian Western
Right.
spaghetti
Yes.
westerns.
Right.
I mean, it's the same. It's on the same vein, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Ha, blood and vein.
Blood vein.
There you go. Why didn't I? Oh, geez, I'm getting bad with my puns, dude. I'm off, man. I'm off, brah.
So now we see how she's going to be able to get out of the coffin.
Which is the part that really messes with me because the dirt, she can't get out. And
Right.
The dirt's coming up on her.
Right. You know what bothered me in that scene was not necessarily the dirt, but the way that the blood looked. It just kept getting smeared and smeared, because she'd hit her hand and it would get bloody, and then she'd hit it again and it just started to look like just like a dirty brown, rusty, bloody mess everywhere. And I'm like, oh.
Man, but that's one thing that I love about her character, and that's what makes her stand out so much. Is just not a female character, just a good character. Period. Is how strong she is to get out of that hole.
Yeah, with
that's
all
determination,
With all
yeah.
that dirt coming in,
Oh, yeah.
falling on her. I mean,
And that's why it sometimes get to me because I'm like, you know what? I would probably just let the suffocation consume me.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
I would struggle. I would get hot. I hate being hot for one thing. I hate being hot.
How can you sit next to me then? Because I'm hot, baby.
That's why I said I hate being hot. I'm not the hot one here. But yeah, I just could not. I could not. That scene couldn't end fast enough.
Yeah.
And when she crawls out like a fucking gerbil,
Yeah.
that made me laugh. But I really liked the reality of that she was falling back into the hole
Right.
and having to grab herself to get
Right.
back out.
Because that is a reality.
Yeah. But you don't see that. Like in zombie movies, they just climb.
They just
out of
climb
the hole.
right out.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Yeah, so yeah, congratulations, you got it. Now you still got to continue pulling out,
yeah.
but that's a testament to her character and her strength.
Yeah.
And again, my whole Pigpen scene where she has a
Glass of water, please.
So funny.
Yeah. In the dimly lit cavernous diner.
Yeah, the
as
greasy spoon
you see
diner.
her stiffly walk because she's tired, she's stiff, she's sore, and she stiffly walks. Oh man, she's just
I hope they didn't make her pay for that.
water. Now, probably for the cleaning and the
Water,
mopping, yeah, sure. You know,
It would have been funny if she was like, "Can I have a glass of water?" And the person's like, "Ooh, very good, sake, very good."
And it's Sonny Chiba again.
Yeah,
In a dress.
you know, Nowadays
Speak very good English.
Nowadays they would do it with a different like twist. Like she steps in the diner, everyone is like a dead person that she conquered. You know, they would play mind games. You know, that was just a simple scene with such simple character work.
And then the person would come out and say, cream or oil? Because she's getting pie and she wants whipped cream. Remember that commercial?
Yes.
No, you don't. You're lying.
Is it a Cool Whip commercial or a Ready Whip commercial?
I think it's Ready Whip.
Cool Whip.
Because she's like, what? And she goes, on your pie, do you want cream or oil? And they're like, cream, please. Ready Whip only uses real cream, unlike this one that uses oil.
Oil.
Brought to you by Ready Whip. Not a sponsor.
Although I
penny.
would take it. Cause
You know, at this point, we'll take any sponsor.
I love whipped cream. Any sponsor. Any.
Any.
Anything.
Speaking of whipped cream, maybe next time we'll talk about Varsity Blues.
Or not.
That was a Hail Mary.
Okay.
No, I actually like Varsity Blues.
I do too.
I don't want your life.
I don't want your life.
Because Tweeter, he wins.
But we'll have to follow it up with not another teen movie.
And then Can't Hardly Wait.
I love Can't Hardly Wait.
Fucking teenagers.
Teenage movies. All right, now we're on Chapter 9.
Ooh.
Chapter 9.
Chapter 9 is L and I. Ooh. As in L driver, not the letter L.
Not the two letters L and I.
Not
like
L
Q
I.
and U.
Yeah. So L speeds on over to Bud's camper with a briefcase full of money.
Because he called her.
Because he called her. Hey.
I
Guess
got
what
a
I got?
Hattori Hanzo.
I got a right here is a Hattori Hanzo sword.
That there is an RV.
There's an RV. Now don't you go fall in love with it. I'm taking it when I leave here next month.
This made me sad for Bud. I like Bud.
Yeah.
Even though he's a bad guy. He's not the bad guy.
He's not a bad guy.
So
Ralph meanwhile, Beatrix is coming back, right? Mm-hmm. So she's going around the camper up like a mountain type thing. She arrives at the hill that looks at the camper the same time Elle drives in. Dun, dun, dun. Elle deceives Bud because that's what she does. She's a deceiver.
And she does it really well.
She does.
I didn't put that together the first time I saw the movie, the snake type.
Yeah.
Because I just didn't like the movie when I first saw it. So
yeah.
It's okay.
So she secretly stashed a black mamba snake within the money in the suitcase.
Dun, dun,
and
dun.
who is the Black Mamba?
That's the bride, a.k.a. Beatrix,
There you
a.k.a.
go.
Kiddo, a.k.a. Mommy. I think that's about it. She's got like 4 or 5 names. Mommy. She's not called Mommy till the end. So the snake bites Bud several times on the face. Aww. His face swells up, kills him. The poison kills him. 10 minutes, right? I mean, he's dead.
Yeah.
That's like the cleanest death we've had.
Yeah.
No beheading, no blood everywhere. He got killed by a black mamba snake.
Yep.
Bud, how you doing? This bites.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
But the whole time, she's describing the moments, like what's happening with the poison.
Well, she's reading off her phone.
Right.
Yeah, she's like, gargantuan. You know what? I've been waiting. I always love that word. Yeah.
Yeah, she's making it even more worse, like to watch this. Like, she's just, yeah.
Which shows you her disdain, her character's disdain for Bud.
She has a disdain for every single person in this entire movie but Bill.
Yeah, she has major daddy issues, clearly.
Yeah. She's
Character.
one of the most horrific characters in these films. She doesn't care for anything.
Yeah, she ended up killing Pai Mei for Pete's sake.
Yeah.
Yep. Who would kill Pai Mei?
That was a benign kill.
Oh, it was. Yeah.
Poisonous fish heads.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
You just see him grabbing his throat.
Spoiler alert, we haven't gotten there. No, I don't know. Spoiler alert. Just kidding. Where were we? Oh, yeah. So Bud's dead.
Like Zed.
He's dead.
Yeah, like Zed's dead. And then
Love Panda's dead.
And then guess who calls Elle again? Bill. And she lied.
Isn't he supposed to be raising BB for freak's sake?
I'm sure he has help. He's rich. Unlike Bud.
Have you seen his hacienda?
Yeah, his hacienda with the Spanish tiles.
You know,
it was a pretty nice house.
It was a nice house.
So she lies to him and claims that Bud was killed by a black mamba that Beatrix stashed in the camper.
This is where you first hear her name.
Yes. Yes, you're right. We don't have Beeping anymore. We have Beatrix. Beatrix Kiddo.
And then you have the cutscene to her in the school. Beatrice Kiddo.
Yes.
Here.
That was brilliant.
That was a good scene.
It was.
Again, you don't have to be sober to get that.
So
living
funny.
proof.
With her pigtails.
Yep. So she hangs up the phone. She's collecting her money.
Mm-hmm.
And then she kicks open the door only to be kicked back by Beatrix, who has arrived at the camper.
It was
And
a pretty
then-
okay fight.
I liked the fight. It wasn't as good as...
Was it
well,
because Vivica
no,
Fox
but I mean,
fight?
it was a good fight. Hands down, the best thing is what she did to her.
Right, and you see her learning that with Pai Mei.
Exactly.
In the silhouette, they're doing the snake thing.
Right, snatching eyeballs.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
Takes
Beatrix,
the other eye.
right. She takes the other eye out of Elle's head.
And freaks the fuck out.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. How she just completely loses her mind as she's blind, and now the realization that she has no sensory whatsoever,
Right.
and she has. This is how I've always translated it: is she realizes that she's in the camper now, can't see. She has one black mama and a real black mama, and I smell the regurgitation and the defecation of Bud. Okay. So, yeah, all those things, she's losing her mind, and also probably just the realization of utter failure that she's been bested.
Bill's not going to pay her any mind anymore.
That, and she thinks she's about to die.
Yeah.
Because she is.
She is. But...
Well, she isn't.
Well...
She doesn't die.
No, but that's what she thinks. But can you imagine, you already lost one eyeball, and you had another one plucked out, blood streaming down your eye socket, you can't see, like the shock.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And she's just running into things like a crazy person, like...
She's just guessing, trying to hurt.
Oh,
yeah, but her screams, like she was
was
fantastic in that part, that one little scene. I mean, she was just going nuts.
Because they hated each other.
Oh, yeah. Like, knowing what you know now, it seems like a pretty good fight.
Yeah. And then she takes the eyeball and she squishes it in her foot.
Between her toes, just like Tarantino wanted.
Yep. Picks up her sword and leaves. And that's the end of those two people.
But that was a cool shot. That was a cool fight too, because Beatrix gets kicked into Bud's room and she finds his Hattori Hanzo sword.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's when it becomes even.
Yes. Yeah. And then we find out that Bud was lying.
But when you leave the scene, you still see the mamba slithering around.
Yeah.
So
it actually hisses at her when she leaves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, and you kind of, to me, how I see it is eventually Elle dies by Mamba Bite, because eventually
Mamba Bite.
Mamba number 5.
little bit
By
of
Lou Bega.
Elle in my
So you think
leg.
she dies not from bleeding out or anything? She dies not from shock. She dies from the snake? Did they both die from the snake?
at some point that snake's going to get her because she's defenseless, and the snake will do what naturally will do because she can't avoid it. She
can't drive away.
Another fan theory
she's
is
still
that
alive.
well, no, there's a fan theory that that both Bud and Elle didn't die because they didn't do anything to warrant a death for them. They didn't kill anybody, or they didn't try to kill her. Especially in the first movie, you see that she stopped. She was forced to stop.
Yeah.
And Bud just didn't care. Bud just was in for the money, and he respected the hell out of Beatrix. So there's a fan theory saying that she didn't kill these two in the movie because Tarantino said, well, it's not the vengeance for them.
Well, technically, Beatrix didn't kill Bud.
That's what I'm saying.
Right. So she shouldn't have. I mean, she doesn't deserve to scratch his name off her list. She didn't do it.
Right.
Well, at the end, his name's scratched, but isn't Elle's name with a question mark, I think?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's another, not fan theory, but there was an idea. She did an extra video. She did a movie afterwards, like a special extra thing.
Daryl Hannah?
Yeah.
Oh.
Huh.
But I don't know if it was past or present. I just remember reading about it. But yeah, there's a thing saying that she could have done the third movie as revenge. Which would have been cool. A blind martial artist. Not since Rutger Hauer.
I don't need any more of her.
Yeah, she's too
Or
viral.
Neo.
She's too venomous of a character. Where, I don't know. Yeah,
I like to think she died.
Let's just give her.
She just died because she didn't want to be in that camper anymore.
That's right.
She's
Yeah.
just too
She
bougie
hated that
for
girl.
that. Yeah.
So do you want to roll on some used porn mags with God knows what on top of them?
Yeah, she killed herself. She's like, I can't drive away. I can't leave. I'm in this hellhole. I'm done. Bye, Bill.
She died by tetanus.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right. So now we're
sneaky.
Now we're in the end, right? We're in the last chapter, which is called Face to Face.
You know, it's funny. These movies are like 2 hours long, but they'd fly right by.
Yeah.
Because the chapters.
Yep, agreed. When you break something up like that, it seems like it's less time. So this is where she's traveling to a brothel run by a father figure of Bill's named
Esteban.
What's his last name?
I forget.
Viajillo.
Viajillo.
Viajillo?
I'll have to see. Hold on, Grandpa
Oh,
needs his
jeez.
reading glasses.
V-I-A.
You're the Latin one here.
V-I-A-H-I-O. Viajillo.
Sure, let's roll with that. Hold on, Grandpa needs to say it.
You really had to take it out of my hand and pull it up.
Ah,
Let me see.
Viajillo.
What is that?
I was being an old man without teeth.
I thought it was kind of like Esteban, because Esteban grosses me out.
Played by the brilliant Michael Parks, who was in the first one as
You rolled in the
the,
pussy wagon. Yes, and I love how she replies, "Yes, I rolled in the pussy wagon."
yes.
But he's got that little cigarette, and you are here for Bill.
I'm actually surprised that Michael Parks or Quentin Tarantino didn't get shit on for having a plain out white guy play a
But he played it so
Spanish.
good.
Oh,
Yeah,
he did.
If you didn't
And once
realize,
again, Tarantino could get away with it.
yeah, and if you didn't realize it, you almost could. He passed for a Hispanic person.
yeah.
Totally.
I didn't recognize him until I saw his bottom lip, because I know the Michael Parks bottom lip.
Especially because it was in black and white.
Was it?
Wasn't that
No.
scene in
No.
black and
No,
white?
it's not.
No, it was all greenery and
Yeah, no.
Oh.
He was surrounded in that Mexican desert.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
getting her confused when she's riding the car. Yeah, you're right. Okay, so then we got the girl come over.
with the cleft.
Oh. Well, what's so creepy, and we brought this up, I believe, in the first one, where he outlines is like, a beautiful thing like you, I wouldn't have done that to you. I would have just caught you.
Yeah, and then he sees the girl that's cut.
Yeah, it's like, gracias.
Yeah, and they're all gracias, and then he tells her to wipe her lip up or because she's
Baby,
drooling.
No. You hear later. You fix it.
Yeah, we clearly need a little bit more backstory on this guy and how he trained Bill or whatever, but
Raised him.
yeah, I don't necessarily know if we need it or want it, but yeah, almost. There was more there that we could have been given.
He was clearly a badass, and he's still clearly a badass.
Is he, though, or is he just confident?
Well,
I don't think he's a badass.
I mean, he didn't do anything. We didn't see him do anything. He wasn't very threatening.
And he just talked.
Yeah.
I know
He
people.
wasn't-
I know people who are all talk, and it doesn't impress me much.
Well, thank you, Shania. You got the moves, but you haven't got the touch. Don't get me wrong. I think you're all right, but that won't keep you warm in the middle of the night.
I mean, he's clearly intimidating.
Is he?
Yeah, these
Yeah.
girls are intimidated
Yeah.
by him. So he's done something. We just don't know what he can still do.
I don't know.
Yeah, but I love the backstory that he elaborates on, talking about, I knew Bill, and I took him to the movie theaters, and he saw whomever that actress was who was blind. It's like, I knew then that he loves blondes.
Yeah. Who was that actress?
Oh, I forget her name, but anyways.
Let us know in the comments.
Go ahead. Yeah, but anyways, it was just such a great backstory, and he just, no, I have not seen Bill, but you're going to kill him. Yes, I am going to kill Bill.
And we have our movie title.
Yeah. But he does. He does tell her exactly where he is.
Yeah,
Because Bill has told him, go ahead,
Yeah.
yeah.
tell him. Tell her.
I'm going to tell you because he told me to tell you.
Go ahead. There's his villa. Go ahead. So she arrives at his hacienda. With her gun. Oh, this is so cute too.
Yes.
She's got the gun in hand. She's got the sword in her back. She's got a cute little jacket and her nice little her skirt. Like she just looks like she's not there to necessarily hurt you. She wants to dance with you and have dinner with you and talk first.
She wants to,
She's all cleaned up and ready to meet
Gab. She's going to.
You're not ready for your heartstrings to be pulled.
No.
Well, is this where they show the backstory of when you find out that she was pregnant, and that's when they have the fight with the in the hotel room?
Not yet.
Not yet. Well, it's in this scene.
Yeah.
But
But the important part is when she kicks, or when she not kicks the door, but when she swings around the wall.
Yeah.
With her gun out.
Yeah, and then she sees her daughter.
Yeah.
Bang, bang, mommy, you're
bang,
dead.
bang, mommy, you're dead. And then she just plays right along.
Oh, and that was awesome.
It's so good. From this point on, for the rest of the movie, this movie is perfect to me. This is my favorite chapter. This is my favorite dialogues. This is where I like to argue with people that is a brilliant movie because I don't know. I don't know if it's, and I didn't see this when I was a mother, but seeing it again as a mother, the way that she hasn't even met this child.
It's the maternal instinct that just kicks right in.
It kicks right in, and she automatically starts playing cops and robbers with this 5-6-year-old little girl, and it's like
she
nothing.
Has tears in her eyes.
Yeah.
And she's so overjoyed. She's like, "No,
it's
you got
so
me."
gut-wrenching, and it's just...
And at the same time, you have Bill still being an asshole.
Yep.
But friendly.
Yes. He's so likable in this scene at times.
Yeah.
That's why he's a narcissist.
I
You're
know.
supposed to like narcissists. They're snakes.
Bang, bang, mommy. And she's just sitting there, and he's like,
Mommy.
You're shot.
Mommy.
Play dead. Oh! And then she's so over dramatic. And she goes down. It's such a good scene. And BB is adorable. That little girl is so precious. And then, so at this point, they hang out or whatever. She puts her to bed. And then do we do the backstory of the hotel?
Well, he makes the sandwiches.
Oh, he makes the sandwiches and talks about how he just taught BB about death.
Yes,
about the
fish that she
and
stepped on.
And I love watching him make this sandwich. I don't know. It's just...
You don't see him being paternal.
It's mesmerizing the way he just he swipes the mayonnaise
with a giant knife,
and he cuts this poor stupid plain ass sandwich with his giant butcher's knife and he does it cross.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't.
Oh yeah, you're right.
But he cuts the crusts off.
Yes, he cuts the crusts off for BB, and then he puts it on a plate, all while telling this beautiful story about how he just taught her about death, and she's just like, I stepped on, I killed the fish.
Yeah, and you could see the workings of, okay, here's his next assassin.
Absolutely. Look at her. She's like, yep, I killed that fish. Like she didn't even care. But then it goes back into the hotel, right? After she takes...
Oh, that scene
that scene is so good.
Yeah, after she takes BB to sleep.
Where she does the pregnancy test.
Yes.
And hey, are you any good with that thing? Not that I have to be with this gun, but...
I'm a fucking surgeon with a shotgun.
Oh, yeah? Well, I'm fucking Annie Oakley, and I got you right in my crosshairs.
Yeah.
And it's like, so let's talk, and they're talking. It's like, I'm pregnant right at this moment. Not a second later, I would go at you, but right now I just found out that I'm pregnant, and I just want to go home.
I love when she picks it up. She's like, "The hell does this mean?"
Yeah,
the box is over there.
Yeah, I know how to read.
All right.
Yeah, all right.
Don't move.
But that is funny. Like, what? I don't know what this is. I don't know how to read this. Yeah, that's hilarious.
Congratulations that she.
Yeah,
she
congratulations.
Talks through the hole in the wall.
Talks through the hole in the door.
Yeah, that was a great scene.
Yeah,
and that was needed.
Yeah. In terms of the sisterhood, and again showing that other layer of the Assassin's Creed, if you will, of just how much they're monsters, but they have human, some sort of human aspect.
And there's a difference in females versus males, because if that had been two guys, and let's say he's like, whoa, I just found out my girl's pregnant.
That has nothing to do with you.
You're not the one carrying the baby. Boom.
Yeah. So now she's a single mother. Sucks be her.
You throw out the baby deal with the women, and it's like, crap.
Yeah.
You know, like, okay, fine.
What?
All bets are off.
Yeah,
blah,
you're
blah, blah,
lying.
blah.
It's like, no, I promise you I'm not.
Until you give birth, and then we're going to come get you. I love that she puts BB to sleep by watching an assassin movie with her.
Shogun Assassin, yep.
Um,
and original, it was going to be. I forget what it was going to be original. I think it's in the Easter egg notes. It was supposed to be something cute.
Oh, okay.
And I don't think it was something with like the rights or something, and then they're just like, oh, let's just use Shogun Assassin. It would be fitting.
It is. I don't think it should be something cute like a Disney movie or something, because clearly, like you said, that was his next.
Yeah,
his next protege.
Everything is training her to be what it is. So
100%.
And what do you do with your best assassin? You have your best assassin make the next best assassin.
Yeah.
So why would you show her brave?
Yeah. Well, why would you show her brave to begin with?
When you've got Moana, come on.
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
So then she comes out. BB's asleep. She comes out, and that's another thing, real quick. When she said, "What's her name?" You know, BB, and it just, I think it like hit her, like Bill, Beatrix, BB, and she's just like BB. I don't know. It just made me so sad. Yeah. Like,
well, there's a lot of connections with BB.
There is
Bill and Beatrix.
Yeah.
There's the Bang Bang.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always took it as BB gun.
Yeah.
So it's a mini. It can still make damage. It's small pellets that can still hurt.
It's got a lot of meaning.
Yeah.
But I think for her, when she heard it, it was Beatrix and Bill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what they made and created. And it was just like, in that moment in time, she was like, I didn't get to name my child. I haven't seen her. Like, I don't know. There was just, I'm so disconnected, but yeah, I'm still her mom. I don't know.
And he took her away from her. He took her first few years away from her. And, you know, it's a Bill thing to do.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
you assume Elle's been taking her place and basically playing mom.
I don't see that.
I don't see that either. I think that he kept her away from everybody.
Yeah. And I think if Elle would try, that Bill would chastise her for
I think so too. I don't think Bill trusted Elle enough. And I don't think Elle would have wanted to, because she hated Beatrix, and that's a part of Beatrix. And every time she looked at her,
their life together.
She thought of her. Yes, that's what she couldn't have with Bill.
Okay.
So I have to disagree with you on that one. Okay, so she comes back out. She joins Bill.
So fuck your idea.
And then no. And then this is where Bill tells the Superman story that everybody loves to hear.
The Superman allegory.
Yeah.
But yet people don't supposedly like this movie, but yet they love that monologue.
Well, you can like a monologue and not like the entire movie.
But the whole movie's good.
But you got to agree that was a good scene.
There's stuff in The Godfather that I love, but that movie's garbage.
You and I are dead.
Okay, we're both dead.
We're dead. We're going to be souls in the afterlife where we're just kicking each other randomly in the balls, and we won't feel anything. It's like,
It insists on itself.
And then we'll just quote, like, Kermit the Frog.
I like the money pit.
Anyways, please continue.
So after that, he shoots her, right? He shoots her with a needle.
Gotcha!
Well, because she goes for the Hattori Hanzo sword.
Right.
And he shoots her. He shoots at her. He misses with the gun. As he's dressed as Han Solo, by the way.
Right.
I don't even know if it's real or not, but he's dressed as fucking Han Solo.
Yeah. That's funny. So she's shot with a needle, and she's losing control of all of her
euphoria.
What?
All of her faculties.
Yeah, her faculties. I was going to say limbs, but yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't feel euphoria right now.
One thing I did read about the original script was that they were going to go into more things, that Bill was this master chemist, and that all of his poisons were handmade and made specifically for certain people. And that's why he says in the movie, this is my grand poison. This is the best thing I've ever made.
Well,
because it was something that was kept.
Yeah. I could see that. That would have made him a little bit more interesting than just...
And it would have gone more with the venomous snake thing.
Absolutely. Yeah. So now he's outside on his beautiful patio, right, hanging out on his table. She eventually joins him. And then they just kind of talk about everything, right? They talk about the plan, why they attacked her, the motive, everything, all while she's still not really feeling her.
It's a very great allegory for divorce. It really is, especially if you're in a toxic relationship or a toxic marriage. It's a fantastic allegory because you feel like you were charmed into a bad environment and you were misled in so many different ways. So for you to sit harmlessly and talk about things, that's kind of how divorces happen. At some point, once you get all through all the deceit and the lying and the cheating and everything that led to the demise of your relationship, at some point you'll have coffee and you'll talk like people, because at some point there's still that inner the young man who loves that young woman or young fill in the blank, whatever you guys love, go for it. I'm not judging you, but that's still there. So through it all, there's still the truth of who you guys are, and that's what was very touching about that scene. And I think that's why it hit me, and that's why it still hits me in terms of being the superior film, and it's not even close, in my opinion. One's a great action film, no doubt, absolutely, but two is a story.
Yeah, and I have to agree with you on this scene. It's probably the best I've ever seen Uma Thurman. It's probably the best I've ever seen David Carradine, and I did watch Kung Fu, both series.
Yeah, I saw the mid-90s because it came on like syndicated.
Yeah, and then he did that second one, Kung Fu Return.
Yeah,
The Legend Returns. But there's something about Quentin Tarantino that can make people act. I think that they just really like the dialogue that he writes, and they want to do the best they can for him. And this scene shows it so well, especially in their facial expressions, because Bill's being Bill. He's leaning back, he's talking, he's telling everything.
Right.
And Beatrix can't do anything, but you can see it in her face. Her facial, she's got her micro reactions. And
she has truth serum.
You can see her smiling. You can see her frowning.
Right.
You can see her being totally confused at what she wants out of this talk. But at the same time, you can see the calculated thing that's going on.
Oh, yeah.
What she's going to
do next. Yeah.
When she gets her faculties back.
Yeah.
And it's just absolutely mind blowing.
Yeah, Bill
or heart blowing.
underestimates her from the beginning.
Yes, absolutely. And that's what a narcissist does.
Oh yeah, again, an allegory for a bad relationship. But so again, we alluded to this about 7 hours ago when we started this episode, but where she has tears in her eyes and she goes, "But I would have kept BB."
Right.
Yeah, I would have had BB, and that's again goosebumps right here. I'm getting a little bit touched as a parent. You feel that, and you see the tears in her eyes, and you feel that pride in that statement. It's just, again, I didn't have too high of expectations on Uma Thurman when the film started. I didn't much care for her in other films that I saw. Pulp Fiction, I think she's a bad dancer, for the record. She's all limbs.
It was a bad dance.
Yeah,
it's a twist.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Adam West and Batman did it better.
And she can't tell the difference between, cocaine and heroin.
Amateur. Anyways. So, moving forward. But yeah, and I just love the scene, and I love everything about this. And then when it goes to the crescendo, which I think we're about to move on to.
Well, yeah, she says, "You and I have unfinished business."
Oh, yeah, baby.
You and I have unfinished business.
Yeah, and you ain't kidding.
And
yes, you ain't kidding.
And the talk about the beach and the moonlight, that was taken from the original script as well. And they decided not to do it and just have it this way, but keep that line in there as an homage to the original idea.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like when he's like, "Baby, you ain't kidding," and then he swipes at her. And then they start with their chair battle, basically, right?
It's so cool.
Their badass chair battle.
Oh, yeah. And you see why he's the boss level.
Oh yeah. Sure.
Absolutely.
100%.
Yeah, it's just, wow.
Well, I mean, you see that when he shoots at her. Her damn daughter's in the room above them, and he shoots at her with a real gun at first.
Right.
In the living room.
Yep. Don't care.
Yeah.
Gotcha!
Yeah, don't care. So basically the crescendo, they fight a little bit, but within 5-7 seconds,
when she gets her chance,
she gets up, she performs her 5-finger death punch, as we like to call it. And people that I've talked to after I saw this movie were like, I cannot believe that after all of this, she killed him with something so stupid like that. And I said, are you kidding me?
Did you not pay attention to the movie?
That is all she could do to make sense to kill him.
Break his heart the way that he broke her heart.
Absolutely.
Not only that, not only literally break his heart, but you killed him with the one thing that he could never, ever learn how to do.
Yeah,
and he looked at her and he says, Paimei showed you the 5-finger death punch? Yeah. Didn't you? Basically, it was like, duh.
And I love the fact that it got explained to you that when it happens, it's only effective when you get up and walk away.
Right.
Yeah.
And he knows this.
Yep.
And he still got his words in before he realized, I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah. As he's starting to bleed internally and his body's starting to quiver. And I thought it was very, again, such a cool scene because you see him button up his shirt respectfully.
Yep.
And it's like, I'm going to take my medicine like a man. I was bested. And I thought that was very humbling. You know, he could have charged at her one last go.
Yeah.
He could have been very...
Could have been kill a kill.
Yeah, you know, tried whatever. Hail Mary passed whatever he could. No, he took his medicine. He realized that he was bested. And, you know, after digesting what just happened, he butted himself up. He looked proudly and he took his steps like basically with some pride and some class.
Right.
Well, I think he also realized that if he killed Beatrix, that his daughter wouldn't have a family
100%.
There was no way that he could have beat her, though. She just...
Well, I understand, but that's an additional thing.
He's not going to leave BB as an orphan.
Yeah.
No way, because he did love BB.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
So
Not
Bill,
the fish, but yes, he loved BB.
So Bill holds his little hand, walks 5 steps, collapses, dies.
And the music...
And she's free.
And the music was good in this one. Good in this one.
And then you see the payoff with them riding the sunset in the car, not the pussy wagon, thank you.
Yes, no. So she grabs BB, and then you see at the end they're in a hotel, and she's feeding her sugary cereal.
She's watching cartoons.
Being a kid. She goes in the bathroom.
And we get, and I was going to say, we get a cool twist in the bathroom.
She lays down in that bathroom and just starts crying hysterically because she won. It's happy tears.
Yeah, and then you see her face and she is glowing.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And that is hands down the best scene of the entire movie in general. Is she hops on that bed and she hugs her, and then it says the lioness has all is right in the jungle. The lioness is with her cub or something like that.
Yeah.
I can't remember word for word. And then they both just smile, and it's like, oh, look, she's actually smiling. She hasn't smiled hardly at all in this entire movie. Even like to fake smile, right? Uma Thurman wasn't smiling.
She did a lot with BB.
Well, she
with BB only.
Yeah.
She smirked a couple times with Esteban, where, you know.
That was all a front.
Yeah.
She never showed true joy until the very end of that movie.
She asked for the water in the diner.
Now in part 1 she was pretty happy, but she was being a bitch to Oranishi when she said, "You didn't really think this was easy, did you?"
Right.
But it wasn't happiness.
No, it was true joy at the end. And the movie just ended perfectly.
Oh yeah.
Perfectly.
Then, you know, the end, question mark.
And then it goes, at the end, and then they just start showing
what
people.
does it go? How does it go? I'm sorry, what was it? Please play again. Let's pause it. Let's play again. Yes.
Shut up.
All right. Yeah. Now it's Easter egg time?
Yes.
Ooh,
we can go over
Easter
egg time.
There was a lot in this one. I sorry.
Well, I think we talked about this briefly. You said Uma and Daryl did not get along with each other. They actually
hated each other.
To the extent where they instructed hotel and cinema staff to ensure they were kept separately during the press tour for Volume 1. Ooh.
Oh, yeah. It was visceral. Like, they absolutely hate each other. And whenever you see these clickbait articles on the internet, it's like, find out what stars did not like each other. And of course you see Tobey Maguire and Oh, the
Kirsten Dunst.
Yeah, Kirsten Dunst, and then eventually you see Daryl Hannah, and
Hannah Montana.
Yeah, Uma Thurman. Hannah Montana. Can't
Yeah,
stand her.
apparently they won Best Fight at the MTV Movie Awards. Did you guys know that's still a thing? It is.
In 2002, it was still
2005. This is 2005.
Yeah,
only Daryl attended, and it was funny because previously the previous year, Uma showed up to accept her award because she won the previous year against her fight with Gogo, but she wouldn't show up for Daryl. So, whatever.
She was busy filming My Super Ex-Girlfriend. What?
Robert Rodriguez scored this movie for $1.
Yep.
Wow. Tarantino said he would repay him by directing a segment of Rodriguez's project Sin City for $1, and he did.
He did.
God, I love that movie. Do you know what scene he directed?
No.
I believe
wasn't it the "They got you smoking"? They got you smoking. Where he I thought the rumor is he did the scene where
Clive Owen.
Yeah, and they're in
the car. Yeah, I'm pretty
like,
sure that was it. I'm pretty sure it was the Clive Owen scene.
The Clive Owen stuff in Sin City is the best part of Sin City.
Clive Owen and Brittany Murphy.
Yeah.
Oh man, rest in peace, Brittany Murphy.
Marv. I mean, we could talk about the whole movie
Marv was
itself.
comics accurate.
Yeah.
Oh, it was fantastic.
Such a good movie.
Oh, anyways, that's another podcast.
In Reservoir Dogs, Michael Madsen's character attempts to kill a cop by dousing him with a can of gasoline, intending to burn him alive. In this movie, the same gas canister can be seen in Bud's trailer as the bride attempts to enter. Interesting. If I was a Reservoir Dogs fan, maybe I would have picked that up.
So is Bud Mr. Blonde?
He's Mr. Pink in that movie?
Oh, he's Mr. Blonde.
Oh.
No, Mr. Pink is
you were asking a question.
Buscemi.
Yeah. I know that because of Pink, the singer. That's how she got her name.
I did not know that.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Why would she want to be named after him?
I'm certain that there's probably some innuendo because Pink is crazy, but crazy cool. But I don't know.
Interesting.
Last time we hung out, I really didn't get a chance to ask her questions.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you asked her to be on the show yet?
Hey, look, I don't name drop. I don't exploit.
Say, hey, come up. We're getting the party started.
The club owner hated Bud's hat because writer and director Quentin Tarantino didn't like it when Michael Madsen appeared on the set wearing it. He tried to talk Michael out of it, but that didn't help. So Quentin got back with a little change in the script the next day, and Michael Madsen had to follow it.
I love that. After seeing that scene in the movie, then reading that, I'm like, that's so funny.
Which makes sense because now you re-watch the scene, you see the disdain in Michael Madsen,
right.
and it's like,
I have to take this hat
giving
off.
me shit about my damn hat.
That's funny.
I like the hat. What?
Beatrix and Bill both start with the letter B, hence the name of their daughter, BB. There are other BB references. Like you said, Bang Bang, the opening song, My Baby Shot Me Down by Nancy Sinatra. Also, when Beatrix sees BB and Bill for the first time, BB points a water gun pistol, toy water pistol, and yells, Bang Bang. Bang Bang.
Bang Bang, Mommy. Your dad. Die.
And then we talk about how Daryl Hannah improvised when she got her eye removed and she goes crazy. She did it because she thought it would make Quentin laugh. He did laugh, so that was kept. She sustained injuries from breaking so many things in the bathroom. Wow. Good for her for finally acting.
I have a feeling that that's bullshit. I think she was actually pissed off as shit. I speak jilted, pissed off, jealous person, and I have a feeling that was more, I'm pissed off as
more
shit.
method.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, it was funny, haha, wasn't it funny? It was so funny. I was just joking.
Funny.
I was joking.
Going back to Reservoir Dogs, during the final encounter between Bill and Beatrix, the two have a conversation where Bill shoots at Beatrice as he reaches for her Hanzo sword. Bill tells her not to do it again, or else he'll shoot her in the kneecap, and he hears that's a painful place to get shot. In Reservoir Dogs, Mr. White tells Mr. Orange that getting shot in the kneecap is one of the most painful places to get shot.
Oof.
There's a lot of connections to Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah.
You think maybe he was writing it when he was wrapping up with Reservoir Dogs?
No, because Reservoir Dogs was his first movie, so...
Yeah, it took him 6 years to write the
Oh,
thing.
that's true. That's true. Despite the bride having Hattori Hanzo craft a sword specifically for her to exact revenge against Bill, she only uses it successfully once. against Cottonmouth and the Crazy 88s in Kill Bill Volume 1.
Is
All
that
of
really
the
just
other-
one time? Because let's just
Well,
talk.
one's on the list. We'll put it that way.
Yeah, all
yeah.
of the bride's other targets were killed by other means. So I can see where that fan theory came in. Interesting. So those are good. So, one thing that I thought was really cool was, so Volume 1, I said that it got like a B rating and like an average of like 89%. When this film test screened in Austin, the audience stood up for 5 minutes and gave it a 5-minute long
Ovation.
The reaction was so overwhelming that Harvey Weinstein did not have the research firm conducting the screening pass out response cards. Hello, you don't need response cards when someone gave you a 5-minute long standing ovation. Roger Ebert also gave it a 4 out of 4 or something and said it was a perfect film.
I can see that.
So
I agree.
No matter how many people like the first one more, I don't think that you can deny that this was still a good movie. And that was what I set out to convince Adam just to try it again and see that it has such good dialogue, character development, and overall it's a good drama.
Yeah, it's
Drama.
very, very good. Very unexpected dialogue for Tarantino because
Yes.
it's not overly pop cultured.
Yeah.
Even though it does have the Superman thing in it, that was just one thing.
Yeah.
It's very. It seems personal, but I don't think it's personal to Tarantino. More, it is personal to Thurman because they
I
did write it
agree.
together. They
Yeah.
did come up with the idea together, and I thoroughly enjoyed going through it again. And I can see why people love this movie. I still enjoy the first one more because I'm more of a kung fu fan than I am a dramatic Western fan.
So next script I have you read of mine will just have nothing but kung fu.
And I do, as I've gone throughout the years, I've done more studying of exploitation films and movies from the 70s and kung fu stuff. I've picked up on more nuances of that kind of stuff. Also, the spaghetti westerns from the 60s and stuff. Stuff is a lot of words for me. So I found more to love in Volume 1, and I found something to love in Volume 2. And I don't think it's a perfect movie, but I think it's a very fucking good movie.
Would you consider the first one a perfect movie?
No.
I'm just curious.
No.
Okay.
What if they were all together? You sat down and watched the whole thing as one.
I don't think I would enjoy it as much because
Okay.
they're two separate styles of film.
Agreed.
It would have been a situation where I would have ripped in and said the back half was so much more strong than the first half. I probably would have said, and this is my opinion, but it's hard to say because everything's retrospective. You're going on guesses. I don't know if, man, like I'm just imagining sitting through a 4-hour film. Number one, that's almost a kiss to death as it is.
Nah.
No, and there's some 4-hour films where it's like, wow, that was 4 hours, no problem. But
Yeah.
like when I think of Zodiac, that's 3 hours and 45 minutes. It was a beautiful film, awesome, fantastically acted, etc., etc. But by the time I got out of the theater, I was exhausted. I was absolutely exhausted, and I have a feeling if I sat through this 4-hour film, especially after the cocaine type scenes from the first half, then to this poetic and very deep in an allegory for divorce, really.
It's just too heavy. It's too heavy to sit in and
You
watch
get
the whole thing
Marriage
at
Story
once.
the second half, and you get Enter the Dragon the first half.
It was not like Marriage
Well, no,
Story.
I'm just throwing something out there in terms
God.
of just being so heavy. But
No,
you know,
I get
one
it.
thing that because after the movie was done, I was watching all the way to the end, and I thought it was pretty cool. It was based on the short story. You know, I'm like, oh man, I would love somehow, some way to read the short story that he wrote. I don't know if it was actually published or if it was just like, hey, I based this off of a short story years ago. Like, I'm curious on what the backstory is and what that entailed, because I know he and Uma worked it out and did some work.
Yeah, they created the whole character basis together.
Yeah.
Watching the first time I saw it, I did not like this movie, and it was mainly because I was with a girl that really love this movie, and I wanted to be like, all right, well, if it's as good as the first one, I'll watch it.
So like the reverse of my thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. And I don't know why I didn't see the second one in the theater as much as I love the first one, but it was just one of those movies.
Because you weren't drinking with me?
No, it wasn't. It was just one of those movies that you missed. And when you were back in 2003, 2004, if you missed a movie, you had to wait for it to come out on DVD. And I did, and I waited, and I missed it when it came out on DVD. And I think it was 2009 or 10 before I watched this movie. And I didn't get it. I was like, why is this so boring? Why is this not anything? Oh, the Pai Mei stuff, that's kind of cool. Okay, well, we're going back to the boring stuff about her and her life. Great. And I guess, I had to grow. I had to grow to understand the movie. And I admit that. I studied film most of my life, but there are just some things you just don't know. And I didn't know this movie, and I'm glad I got to know it finally.
Yeah. And it goes back to what I say. My appreciation is I love character independent films at the time. So I was really into that whole thing, where you can just show me a movie based on just a guy having a monologue with another character, or an internal monologue with himself for 2 hours, and I would be satisfied. And there's your film right there. Hardly any, no action, nothing, hardly any music. I'm like, oh man, that was awesome. Oh, you gotta see that. Oh man. Yeah. I was into like The Jacket with the big nose guy Brody. Thank you.
Yeah, Adrian Brody.
Adrian Brody. Like, I love that type of film. I was into Capote around that same time period.
So he has said that if there was going to be a third one, it was going to be Vernita's daughter coming back for revenge. Obviously, that was set up for that. I personally, 10 years ago, I would have been like, hell yeah, I want a volume 3. I do not want any more of these movies. For one, it's a revenge story. We have a beginning, we have an end. She's got revenge. It's over with. I don't need another one where somebody else comes back for more revenge. Just my opinion. Also, it is widely known that he is going to retire after his 10th movie. If he makes another Kill Bill 3, that'll be one step closer to his last movie, and I think it'll be number 9 by now. I don't want it wasted. I don't want number 9 wasted on a Kill Bill Volume 3 revenge movie that I've already seen before. That's just my opinion.
Well, the
unless he's got a great angle. Like,
well, the idea of revenge is that it never ends, and that could be the basis of a third movie, because you get revenge on the person who hurt you. Well, there's obviously someone else that gets hurt,
that's suffering because of that,
right? And they get revenge, and so on and so on and so on.
And BB's not going to allow that, because BB...
So you want BB to fight Vernita's daughter?
Yeah, it would be BB and...
Yeah, eventually. Like, I can see Vernita's daughter offing her offing Uma, and you can probably even offer early on.
Yeah.
And then
BB.
Yeah, BB earning it, and then them growing as kids, because it could again be an allegory for like divorce and kids of divorce, dealing with divorce, and the parents, one person taking the dad's side, one taking the mom's side, and never truly seeing how they're both hurt. I mean, you could go that aspect, but again, it's a regurgitation of what we already know in terms of what growth is there. I mean, but Quentin Tarantino seems like a guy who says, fuck growth, it's a good story, or fuck it. You know?
Well, he also doesn't do sequels.
Right.
Kill Bill Volume 2 is not a sequel.
No.
Even though it's quote unquote the 5th movie by Quentin Tarantino.
I didn't prove that.
I don't think it would be a good idea. I agree with Alison. I don't think it'd be a good idea to make a sequel, but I can see the idea of a sequel working.
If he wasn't Quentin Tarantino, it would have been made by now.
Right.
But
right.
He doesn't just willy-nilly make movies. His movies come out every few years. It's a huge production. He's written them for 10 years or so before that. We know that he only has a couple more to go and he's done. And then after that, he's just going to probably write scripts and do plays and stuff like that. But I just don't want it wasted. I know that sounds so stupid, almost like...
Well, you're protective of your artist.
Yeah, but I just don't need another one. I was satisfied with this movie. 9 out of 10, like 99%. I was satisfied. I don't need another one. I can, yes, we can talk about Vernita's daughter. I don't know. I keep forgetting her name. We can talk about Esteban, where he came from. All this stuff like that. But I can just do that in my own head. I'm satisfied with.
Hell,
with it.
he could write scripts for graphic novels about this.
Yeah, I don't know if he would, but that would be cool.
Yeah,
it wouldn't surprise me if he did.
And he could do it with Robert Rodriguez.
I was gonna say he could hand it off to Robert Rodriguez.
Yeah.
It's something
which
about
he
that
won't
guy's
do.
name that I just love.
You think?
Maybe after he's done and he retires,
That's
he
what
might
I mean.
be. Yeah, he might be less protective of his work. But right now, no, he wouldn't. But what do you think? Do you think there should be a volume 3, or as we call it, volume trace?
Better than volume 3.
That's Is that French?
Yeah.
For Gerard Depardieu.
For Gerard Depardieu.
So that was our Kill Bill discussion. Let's see what's going on. We still have all of our lists and reviews that are on the website, cinemadnesspodcast.com. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Please. Subscribe.
I hear all the cool people do it, and we think that you're pretty cool.
Even if you don't even watch like all the videos, just subscribe. Just make us feel better that we have more viewers. That would be cool. But yeah, so
I one time had a client or customer, if you will, talk about their YouTube page. I subscribe to it. I haven't watched a single video just because
I subscribe to lots of people, and I don't watch YouTube.
I live on YouTube and still don't watch half of the stuff I subscribe to.
Every so often, I
it's
drink
better than television.
I drink a lot of coffee, so you can fill in the blanks. So yeah, I watch a lot.
But we do appreciate the people who do subscribe and write comments on our videos. So keep that up. Please keep supporting us. Let us know if there's a movie that you want us to talk about. And what?
Yeah, no, real quick, talking about comments. We had, of course, Game Day Dave on.
Dave.
Yeah. Game Day Dave, right?
Game Dave. Not
just
Game
Dave.
Day. He's not a football player, football announcer.
Oh, man, I don't know.
Oh, I don't think he loves you anymore.
Game Day Dave. You got to tell him what he called him.
I will.
Sugar. Whatever. You know what? I don't know.
What? Try it again. What did Game Dave say?
What did Game Dave do to you?
Oh, no. There was a comment by a fan who is apparently a Game Dave's fan, and he was busting my balls so much about the DeGrasse film. He goes, he even pinned his favorite point.
Yeah, in the video.
Oh, it was great. It was
was it Bob?
I don't recall.
But he put the exact time frame in the video.
I think that was Bob. He's the guy who's going on Lego Masters.
Oh, okay, cool. Shout out to you, Bob.
Way to go, Bob. Thank you.
Also known as his own self on the chat.
Oh, his own self.
Well,
okay,
you know what, Bob? If I don't have any more kids, it's because you busted my balls.
Anyways, all right.
No
I'm
parents.
signing off.
Okay.
All is right in the kingdom. Bye, BBs.